We have no fucking power. We're Democrats. We're fucking feckless, pathetic fucking losers. So now we make graphs. I'm Tommy Vietor.
I'm Brian Tyler Cohen.
And today, we're trying something new. We are going to make a political compass of the Trump-friendly media landscape. Thank you, Lumen, for sponsoring this episode.
Well, we thought it was important because as we get into this new era where we have to figure out how to best combat Trump-friendly media, we actually have to understand what Trump-friendly media looks like, what it is. So we're creating kind of a visual representation. We're going to have an x-axis where it'll go from Party of Lincoln, these are your more moderate Republicans, all the way to the Hang Mike Pence faction of the Republican Party. The top of the y-axis is going to be more of the authoritarian Republicans. This is what we're calling the Spank Me Daddy faction of the GOP. And on the bottom we have the more libertarian elements of the Republican Party, and that's the Don't Tread on Me faction of the GOP.
Will this work? We don't know, but it's going to be more interesting than the Joe Rogan of the left discourse that's been happening for the past few months, so why not?
Why not?
It's 2025, Brian.
Tommy, what do you say we pick out the first media figure that we're going to talk about from the head of none other than Ronald Reagan?
Okay, the first one I got is, my boy, Jesse Waters. Fantastic.
How many genders are there, Tommy? How many genders are there, Tommy?
The honest answer, Jesse, I don't care. I'm a libertarian. I don't care.
It's
Be
two,
what you want to
Tommy.
be.
You
You can be what you want to be, Jesse. Live your truth.
Well, I'm not a Democrat,
Okay.
and that we know. I haven't seen this enemies list. Can you show me this list?
Yeah, read Kash Patel's book, The New FBI Director. You should check it out. It's not a long book.
I haven't seen the list yet.
Are
But I
we
know there
pardoning
was
people who
FBI
beat up
agents
cops?
on the ground on January 6th, and then they destroyed evidence in the committee, and then everybody gets preemptive pardons? What's that all about?
Just doing kind of a greatest hits of conspiracy. Are we going to do Lab Leak now?
What's the
Where do we want to go
conspiracy?
next?
Not a Party of Lincoln time slot. They're very into Hang Mike Pence. So I was on Jesse Waters' show about a week ago. I watched them kind of revising their talking points in real time about why actually it was okay for Jan 6 insurrectionists to beat up cops. So to me, he is firmly in the Hang Mike Pence, Spank Me Daddy, pro-authoritarian sort of milieu. I don't know that he is as far right as, say, an Alex Jones.
Right.
But, in terms of like Fox News primetime opinion, he is way up there.
Okay. All right. We've got Alex Jones.
Oh,
Here we go.
wow.
We had clips yesterday of the day most groups saying they've lost, the whole world hates them. There's new clips today. They're actually groveling. So, I just got a supercharge. I'm not, this is not an act right now. I came to the show. Yes.
So Alex Jones is going right here at the corner of our compass.
Interesting you put Alex at the very top.
Yeah.
What were you thinking there? Tell me more.
So I know that Alex Jones might have in the past had a more libertarian, anti-government
Paranoid,
bent.
yeah.
But I think now, because we haven't seen him do anything to distance himself from Donald Trump in the last few years, it's clear that he, like so much of the rest of the right more broadly, has kind of discarded this anti-government, anti-establishment, libertarian thing in deference to Trump. And so until we see something where these people are willing to stand up to Trump or stand up to some policy that he puts forward, I have no reason to believe that he's not just a Trump guy, and Trump, of course, doesn't represent libertarianism. He doesn't represent the Don't Tread on Me faction of the party. He represents the Spank Me Daddy faction of the party. So until I see some reason not to put him there, that's my rationale for putting him all the way up to the top.
Cool. All right. Next one up. Laura Ingraham.
President Trump, Vice President Vance, and their families attended the National Prayer Service. It's a tradition after the inauguration, and it happens at the Washington Cathedral. But rather than a Christian service about God and country, they were forced to listen to the rantings of a lunatic.
I think Laura Ingraham is really conservative. She's been on the sort of very conservative side of the ledger at Fox for a long time. And so I don't know that she's more authoritarian than a Jesse Waters, but I do think she's more Republican.
I agree with that. And I do agree, too, that whereas you have, like, the bro-y bit that Jesse does, that Laura Ingraham doesn't have that bit. She's bought in.
Yeah, she's bought in.
She's not doing a bit. No. Let's see who Reagan gives me now. Oh, man of the month here,
Man of
Joe
the cycle,
Rogan.
yeah.
We're talking about a AI president. You need a president that is immune to bias, corruption, influence, and someone who just looks at things rationally and in an intelligent way that spans all the disciplines.
This guy doesn't fall into the same category as the rest of these right-wing media folks. I don't think that this guy is here blindly advocating for Donald Trump. I think he definitely has proven over the course of years his anti-establishment bona fides. I also don't think that he is a Trump acolyte here. I don't honestly even think that he's on the right. And so when we have the spectrum where it goes party of Lincoln to hang Mike Pence, there's a part of me that thinks that Joe Rogan is still is even farther to the left.
Yeah, I think we need a different graph.
Yeah, but I think as far as what we have right now, the closest thing we have is that he is more libertarian than authoritarian, and he's certainly closer to the middle of the ideological spectrum as far as left to right goes than even we have room for on the chart.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, I think he's very much libertarian. He doesn't want to take, he's very opposed to vaccines or vaccine mandates. I imagine he's pretty opposed to taxes. I think that's why he moved out of California in the first place down to Texas. So I think that's right. I think he kind of breaks our graph. Tucker Carlson. We got a wild card.
So Tommy, you drew the wild card, and that means that you have 3 different Tucker Carlsons that you get to put on the board. Right now you are holding the no-tie Tucker Carlson.
Okay.
You're also going to get the necktie Tucker Carlson, as well as
the bow tie.
The bow tie Tucker Carlson.
There has to be a point at which Dad comes home. Dad is pissed. And when Dad gets home, you know what he says? You've been a bad girl. You've been a bad little girl, and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now. And no, it's not going to hurt me more than it hurts you. No, it's not. I'm not going to lie. This is going to hurt you a lot more than it hurts me.
Bowtie Tuck, party Lincoln guy, very much don't tread on me kind of libertarian. And then we got Fox News Tucker, no tie Tuck, which is basically Alex Jones. Yeah. So that was complicated. We got 3, right? So I got my bow tie, young, not yet dead inside Tucker Carlson, working at the National Review or whatever on Crossfire on CNN, party of Lincoln, traditional Republican, libertarian, right?
And then he's like, this doesn't pay enough.
Yeah, this doesn't pay enough, which brings us to our normal tie, Tucker Carlson, on Fox News. He was very much in the kind of authoritarian, spank me daddy, doing some weird stuff in his coverage. He was pretty MAGA, but we all know now from the emails that came out in various litigation that he hated Donald Trump. So I didn't put him totally in hang Mike Pence. I think he would rather have seen Mr. Trump go.
And then he was like, that didn't pay enough.
Still didn't pay enough. Now we got Tuck living out his paranoid fantasies in a cabin in Maine. He said he was attacked by a demon in his sleep. He's completely lost his fucking mind, and he does a digital show where he interviews Vladimir Putin.
Perfect.
Thanks.
I think that covers it. Let's see who Reagan has for me now.
Another tough one.
And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
I think I'm going to put him right here.
I think that's smart because you got him firmly in the hang Mike Pence area, which is do anything to help Trump.
Right.
But he's libertarian when it impacts Tesla's bottom line.
He's libertarian on the stuff that benefits him financially, but at the same time, he is also there to just act as an extension of Donald Trump himself. So I think he's split between the two. Any libertarian bona fides that he might have had are being offset by his blind allegiance to Trump. So he has to be on the middle there. And then you can't say that he's some moderate Republican when at the same time he's also advocating for all of these extreme Republicans. And if you look at the clip that we just posted a few seconds ago, the guy is best known right now for having done a certain gesture that made international headlines. So to claim that he is some moderate, I think, is giving him a lot of the benefit of the doubt that he absolutely does not deserve.
Oh, here we go. Ben Shapiro.
Some on the right have now fallen into the trap of believing that so long as someone is purportedly anti-left, no matter what insanely non-conservative thing that person believes, from the wonders of promiscuity and mistreating women to standing for Islamic jihadis, all of which Andrew Tate has done. You can commit literally any sin and be treated to applause. Well, this has to stop because it's stupid and it's counterproductive and it is morally wrong.
I know where he's going.
So Ben Shapiro of the Daily Wire, I think he knew early on that Donald Trump was bad news, that he didn't have traditional Republican values, but he's made a business decision to morph himself away from, kind of the never Trump position.
Which is almost worse because you absolutely know that he knows better.
He knows better. And I think, he probably sees Trump as a means to an end. I don't really know where he is on the kind of authoritarian to libertarian. Honestly, if anything, I might have moved him up a bit closer to where Ty Tucker is, but I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah, I think that looks good. All right, we've got Bret Baier.
That's cheating on the election.
You lost the 2020 election.
Bret, you take a look at all of the stuffed ballots. You take a look at all of the things, including things like the 51 intelligence agents.
There were recounts in all of the swing states.
Don't overthink it. This is not fucking...
All right, so I decided to put him obviously all the way to the left of the spectrum, Party of Lincoln. I don't think that this guy is part of the insurrection crowd. At the same time, I think that while he's often deferential to Trump, just because he has to be, that if push came to shove, he probably does fall below that median line and probably skews a little bit more libertarian as opposed to authoritarian.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. Okay. Oh, here we go.
After 4 long years, President Donald Trump is back where he belongs. He is in the Oval Office.
Sean Hannity was married to Jill Rhodes from 1993 to 2000.
Sean Hannity is an odd one. He's like a traditional, very conservative Republican, but he's also been friends with Trump for like 30 years. He's basically an advisor. He's not really a journalist. So that's why I have him super high up in the Spank Me Daddy category, because I think he's fully on board with Trump doing whatever he wants to do and would be a propagandist for him in any situation. But at the end of the day, he's also friends with Mike Pence. He doesn't want Mike Pence hung. He just wants Trump in charge. So I have him like in a slightly less crazy place than Tucker and Alex Jones.
Maybe just lightly choked.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, and finally, to round it out, we've got Theo Von.
What about the Federal Reserve? What is it, and is it f***ing us?
Another one that's kind of could be an off the charter.
So my rationale here, and I kind of use Joe Rogan as the foundation, is that he's probably got less libertarian bona fides than Joe Rogan does.
Less well thought out views.
Yeah.
Period,
and so I think like in this manosphere, he probably just defers a little bit more toward like the Trump friendly of it all. So that's why I put him just above Joe Rogan, because I don't think he's doing this because he's like anti-government or anti-establishment. I think that he's probably just there because there's an overall friendliness toward Trump.
Yeah, like I think Theo Von doesn't want to be told he has to take a vaccine. He wants to do drugs and not get arrested. He doesn't probably think much about the role of government in life, and he kind of likes Trump. So yeah, I think that's the right place to have him. But I don't think he's like a vicious guy. I don't think he wants to hurt people. Yeah, I think he thinks like Democrats are lame and cancel culture is bad, and that's more of his space.
Yeah.
Did you know that 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by February? You can beat the odds with Lumen and improve your health. Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach. It's a device that measures your metabolism through your breath. And on the app, it lets you know if you're burning fat or carbs, and it gives you tailored guidance to improve your nutrition, workouts, sleep, and even stress management. All you have to do is breathe into your Lumen first thing in the morning, and you'll know what's going on with your metabolism, whether you're burning mostly fats or carbs. Then, Lumen gives you a personalized nutrition plan for that day based on your measurements. You can also breathe into it before or after workouts and meals, so you know exactly what's going on in your body in real time. And Lumen will give you tips to keep you on top of your health game. Because your metabolism is at the center of everything your body does, optimal metabolic health translates to a bunch of benefits, including easier weight management, improved energy levels, better fitness results, better sleep, and so much more. The Lumen is really cool because, if you work out a lot and you want to get kind of real-time feedback on how it went, just blow into your Lumen. You see what your reading is. Just like very cool feedback in real time that helps you guide yourself and make, smarter health decisions. Go to lumen.me/rank to get 20% off your Lumen. That's lumen.me/rank for 20% off your purchase. Thank you, Lumen, for sponsoring this episode. Haven't made a graph in a long time.
Yeah.
It's a good time. It's instructive, Brian, because it kind of tells you that the Trump coalition is far more broad and weird and motley than you might expect, at least when it comes to his media boosters.
I think it's also instructive because if you look at the old guard, this is the Fox News people, the InfoWars people. Those people are already bought in. They have gone as far right as you can possibly go, as pro-Trump as you can possibly go. You see this next generation of Trump-friendly commentators, the Theo Vons of the world, the Joe Rogans of the world, and I think that they are still in a position right now where they're not too far gone. Like, you can see the trajectory of where these people go, where it's bottom left to top right. Once you're at top right, you're not getting the Sean Hannity's back. You're not getting the Laura Ingrams or the Jesse Waters or Alex Jones's back. But I think it's instructive here because the Theo Vons and the Joe Rogans are still really close to the center of the spectrum as far as left-right is concerned. And so that's probably where a lot of their audiences are too. And so I think that as we move forward and kind of position our persuasion efforts, we should still recognize that a lot of these people are very much gettable and not too far gone.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, a lot of these Fox folks, Hannity, Bret Baier, Young Tucker, even Ben Shapiro, they're kind of like party of Reagan, pro-business, anti-abortion, conservative values generally, whereas some of the sort of newer entries to this media ecosystem and to being Trump fans are people who had reactions to recent events, whether it was COVID or the vaccine mandates or watching Trump get shot at. These are people that have pretty newly formed views, as you said. And I agree with you. They're people who kind of swung with the culture, and I think we can reach those folks.